What's going on, guys? It's Cynical and welcome back to another Kingdom Hearts 3 discussion video. Today for you guys, I wanted to sit down and talk about how much is too much. This year has been absolutely phenomenal in the ways of Kingdom Hearts 3, and of course, for good reason. The game was originally meant to release this year. Fortunately, it got pushed back to the start of 2019, but it makes sense that we've received a lot of juicy stuff this year, and we're still going to be receiving more stuff, most likely towards the end of the year. Because of the fact that we are creeping closer and closer to the release of Kingdom Hearts 3, it makes sense that Square Enix would use 2018 to fully step forward to promote the game, whether it be via trailers, screenshots, interviews, and all of that good stuff. And I honestly think that in the ways of how Square Enix has sort of handled the promotion of Kingdom Hearts 3 this year, it's been pretty good, but perhaps maybe a little too good. Now, this is stemming from the recent Tokyo Game Show footage that, of course, we received last month. And I'm not really so much talking about the extra toy box footage that we got to see, not really talking about the extra Frozen Trinity Sled footage that we got to see, but more so I'm talking about specifically the Aqua versus Sora scene that just sort of came out of the blue. I don't think anyone was expecting to see this whatsoever. Mainly because this is a pretty important point in the game itself, we can assume. And not only that, but a lot of us were assuming that we would be playing as Riku fighting against Aqua, as of course we see both Riku and Mickey in the Realm of Darkness at the Dark Margin facing Aqua. So yeah, a lot of us were led to believe that it was going to be Riku to take down Aqua. Well, it turns out that it's Sora, but not only that, we actually got to see like the fight in action. And I know that for a lot of people, this kind of rubbed them the wrong way, in the sense of, you know, Square shouldn't have shown this footage. This is like a really important part of the game itself. And so I think since then, this has started this debate as to whether or not Square Enix is showing too much of the game or not. Now, at this point, personally, I'm sort of on the fence about a few different things. I kind of feel as if Square Enix is showing a little bit too much. But one thing that I've always stood by, and especially ever since this debate has arisen, is that we don't know exactly how much content is in Kingdom Hearts 3, and so we can't necessarily step forward and say, guys, you guys are showing way too much, because at the end of the day, we don't actually know how much content is in this game. Tetsuya Nomura actually made a comment towards the Aqua versus Sora scene and mentioned that they could only show around about 30 or 40 seconds, any more footage and it would have been considered spoilers. But at the same time, do you want to consider just seeing that fight in itself a spoiler? For the Aqua vs Sora scene though, personally I feel as if, yeah, I preferably didn't really want to see it as much as, yes, I freaked out and I loved watching it and all of that kind of good stuff. Yeah, preferably I wouldn't have wanted to see that scene, only because I know that there is a certain amount of importance behind this fight itself. I mean, come on, it's Sora versus Aqua. I mean, let's be real, right? I really would have liked that element of surprise, finding out that rather than, like I said, Riku fighting Aqua, it's actually Sora that has to do the dirty deed. And yes, I know that although this has been sort of hinted at, especially within the 0.2 opening cinematic, where of course we see Sora's hand reaching down for Aqua's, still I think that a lot of us were led to believe that in specifically this situation, it was actually going to be Riku that was going to be the person to slap Aqua from side to side. Within saying that though, who knows, there might still be a sort of battle scenario where, yeah, Riku and Aqua do fight it out, but I think at this point it's pretty clear that it is Sora that is the one that's going to be doing it. I think in the ways of the other trailers that we've received this year, it totally makes sense for Square Enix to go balls to the walls in terms of footage showing off all of the different Disney worlds, and Square Enix actually made this very clear back in 2015, saying that they do plan to unveil all of the Disney worlds and show them off before the release of Kingdom Hearts 3. Now, ultimately this does make sense, as of course each Disney IP that is going to be in Kingdom Hearts 3 serves as some pretty damn good advertisement and promotion for the game, especially for the likes of Disney IPs like Frozen or Toy Story, just due to their sheer popularity. So I can't say that I'm necessarily rubbed the wrong way with seeing all this different footage from all of the different worlds so far. It definitely makes sense. And we also have to keep in mind that a lot of the footage that we're seeing is, of course, all spliced and split up. up. In the sense of something like Toy Story or, of course, Olympus, sure, we've seen a lot of these worlds, but again, going back to what I was saying, we don't know exactly how big this game is, and furthermore, even how big these worlds are. Taisu has actually mentioned in the past that the portion of the Toy Story world that we've seen is actually only 30% of the world itself, and so far, I would say that Toy Story is probably the world that we've seen the most of. Coming up next to it would, of course, be Olympus, which I would say would be the same similar sort of thing. We've probably seen around about 30 to 40, maybe even 50% of Olympus. I think it definitely makes sense for Square Enix to use one world, if not a couple of worlds, and show them off extensively to really display what kind of new features, mechanics, and gimmicks are going to be in Kingdom Hearts 3. It's necessary for the advertisement and promotion, but I am definitely glad that they're not going balls to the walls in terms of other worlds, you know, like Frozen, Monsters Inc., Pirates of the Caribbean. I feel like we still have seen very little of these worlds, although yes, we did get to see the Trinity Sled minigame, which was kind of cool. It was really just sliding down a mountain. We had that little sort of snow area where we fight the Ice Wavens, and then that's it. So I think really in the sense of everything else, it makes sense with what Square Enix is showing. We have to keep in mind that Kingdom Hearts 3 is one of the most highly anticipated games for Square Enix. And so, yeah, it really does make sense for them to show off X amount of footage. I will say, though, that I do feel as if showing off the Sora versus Aqua stuff was maybe perhaps a little bit too much. But I am trusting Tetsuya Nomura when he's saying that, yes, we're only just scraping the surface, and that there is a lot of stuff in this game. What you guys are seeing is only a very minuscule amount of Kingdom Hearts 3. Now, towards the end of 2018 and around the beginning of 2019, we're likely to receive more stuff for Kingdom Hearts 3 in the ways of trailers and information, before, of course, the game releases late January. I'm really crossing my fingers that Square Enix decide not to really show off anything else that's too substantial to the same level as the Aqua vs. Sora stuff. Although within saying that, I do feel as if Square Enix will have a juicy final trailer before the game releases, so I'm a little bit worried in that sense that they will throw in something pretty damn crazy for that final trailer, but fingers crossed it's nothing too substantial. At this point, we've seen a lot of the important stuff in the sense of, you know, unveiling characters that are going to be returning in the ways of, you know, like Vanitas, in the ways of Xehanort, in the ways of other organization members. So important characters for the most part have already been unveiled. I think what is left is, of course, the remaining worlds that will be in the game. So fingers crossed that with showing off these remaining worlds, they don't show off anything else too important. Keeping in mind that the Aqua vs. Sora stuff was, of course, uncut gameplay. It wasn't part of a trailer. So who knows if we will see another setup where we do have some kind of Kingdom Hearts 3 panel where we do get to see an uncut gameplay clip. Keeping in mind, though, that we do have that special Kingdom Hearts 3 panel hosted by Shinji Hashimoto happening on November 3rd. So, I don't know if they're going to show anything there. If they do, again, hopefully it's nothing too substantial. At the end of the day, though, I'm not mad that I've already seen the Aqua vs. Sora stuff, but I do feel as if, yeah, maybe it could have kept that under wraps a little bit. But however, guys, that is going to pretty much do it for today's video. In the comment section down below, guys, please let me know your thoughts and opinions towards this topic. This has been a pretty big debate, I think especially ever since the Aqua vs. Sora stuff was revealed last month. So be sure to share your thoughts. Now, guys, with all that being said, I'm Cynical. Hopefully you dudes are having an absolutely fantastic day. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you later. Peace.
Hit them on the page, you'll be coming through stain. Gold in my mouth when you suckers be bluffing. Milk crate, gaming up the bitch though. Catch me in the back playing Super Nintendo.